So good to meet you guys.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Dylan.
John?
I'm overwhelmed.
Excellent. When are you joining?
Well, I'm just finishing my paperwork now.
Oh, really?
And I have no idea what route to take or anything to get into it. How'd you guys get into it?
I was a civilian firefighter actually, and they offered up direct entry, which they don't usually do. They usually transfer in from another trade in the military, like Kent's ex-infantry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, so that's usually how you go about it.
So, just if I was in any trade in the Army?
Yeah, in the military for that matter. You could be Air Force or Navy as well.
And you just have to, do you have to apply?
Yeah.
Oh, how long does it take to get into it?
Well, you're going to have to do a few years with your trade specifically, right, to get qualified within that trade before you're eligible to retransfer. And then basically there's a selection process where you have to apply through an officer on your base that is in charge of careers and courses. You work through that, and then it goes to a committee that selects, we're usually about 30 members to go to a pre-selection, which is like kind of like Hell Week, right, where they test you mentally and physically. And
Can't wait for that.
yeah, it's actually in a miserable sort of way, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's lots of fitness involved as far as like actual PT, where they'll just, like, you know, punish the group with 50 push-ups or whatever, but at the same time they also test you with a structured physical fitness test. There's actually 2 or 3 of them.
I did my my PT. It was like 10 push-ups, 15 sit-ups.
You're gonna need a lot of work if you want to do this job, because just to get in, like, they're doing 50 push-ups about every hour on pre-selection, just as a gauge. They don't structure it that way, but they'll do it for any reason, just to give you something like that. Or it's, you know, all kinds of ruck marches. They're carrying a 100-pound pack for the last week and a half of the course through the snow. So you're in for a lot of work, and you have to be very, very fit.
Good. That's what I want. That's kind of why I wanted to get into it, because you have to be physically fit. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like the selection course is also the military aircrew survival course. So they're actually teaching you how to survive in the woods at the same time that they're evaluating you. So it's really good that way. And now you come back with that qual.
What other stuff do you guys do? Like, how often are you out on the plane? Or?
Well, we're training every day, and there's a standby crew on 24 hours a day. We're on a half-hour response during the daytime and a 2-hour response at night. We're on call at that point. And there's crews handling that all the time. So, like, if we get called out from here, even though we're training today, we'll go on the mission, obviously, right? That takes
And if you're just in training?
Yes.
So would you get to go along for and you'd get to do the same thing?
Absolutely. There's things that he's not trained to do on the airplane yet. He's just come off his course that basically teaches him paramedic, mountain rescue, dive rescue, basic parachuting that he's got in as far as confined area jumping and skydiving and that type of thing. Arctic survival, winter survival. Yeah, it's probably the best year you'll ever have as far as outdoor activities and fun. So, but as far as once you get to a squadron, there's all kinds of things we have to do on the airplane now. Like we were just going over aerial delivery of that survival toboggan there. So, like, there's all kinds of procedures and protocols we follow to drop things out of the back of the plane, as well as to jump and conduct ourselves on the airplane. Well, you know what? When you're parachuting, a fear of heights really doesn't take into effect at that point. It's actually a fear of falling and everything else. So the height fear actually comes more with, like, rock climbing and mountain rescue and stuff like that, where you can see the ground.
Would you guys ever have to do rock climbing?
Absolutely. Yeah, we just did a rescue up in Baffin Island. We pulled a guy out of a crevasse that fell 80 feet down in the middle of nowhere. He was about 80 miles from any civilization. So we flew up and almost jumped in, and we ended up taking a helicopter in and pulled him out of the crevasse there. But it was all mountain skills that we use for climbing.
So you get, like, every kind of terrain training?
Yeah, they teach us to go anywhere in Canada. Like, we're the guys that go where nobody else can go. So, you know, like if an ambulance or a medevac can't get there with paramedics in there, they train us to be primary care paramedics to be able to treat them, but mostly we're there to get them out, right? So it's fun.
My life is complete.